My hands won't stop shaking. I am leaving this recording so my family can know what's happened to me. I've been doing a lot of thinking, and I foresee two possible outcomes. The better fate will be that I am found dead. The darker fate would be that I am found wandering, with no recollection of who I am. An empty shell with no purpose. To me, that fate is worse than death. I stumbled upon something sinister. This was an unwanted discovery, a mistake that once seen cannot be unseen. Once I peered into the darkness peered back. I get a sinking feeling when I think of how we take things for granted, how we make trivial things such a big deal. But now, in the face of uncertainty, these things are so minuscule. It's funny how fearing for your life gives you such clarity, gives you an end goal, and shows you a path. This fear also allows you to appreciate how easy you had it and makes you long for your old problems. You'd do anything to trade your current state for your old world-ending dramas. You realize that before all this, everything was simple. The grass is green. The sky is blue. What goes up must come down. The world made sense. But this, how do I even begin to explain this if I don't fully comprehend it? I'm terrified. I haven't slept in days and haven't left my apartment. My family keeps calling, but I push them away, refusing to let them anywhere near me. I've lied to them. Told them I was going on a backpacking trip and I wouldn't have cell reception just to get them to ease up. I had to do it. I didn't want to, but I'm so scared and I don't know what's going to happen. It all started with the local cat lady. I know what you're thinking. She's been under pressure and she snapped, or damn, that meth got to her. But stop and listen before you jump to conclusions and judge me. There is a field located down the street from my house. It's nothing special, just an empty lot. The foliage is overgrown in places, and the center is just a dirt clearing. There are a few for sale signs scattered on the property stating to call Big Al in case you were interested or had any questions. It really looks harmless to any passerby, like it could be anywhere USA. But it's not. Evil lives there. A few months ago, I was driving by the lot on my way to work, just as I had thousands of times before. We have a local cat lady, an older woman, often seen feeding stray cats or sweeping up the curb. The first time I saw her, I thought it creepy, but you just got used to it and it became a staple of your everyday routine. When I spotted her that day, it was different. She was in the middle of the field, her back to me, her head pointed to the sky, arms outstretched. Her body seemed to encase something much larger than her, some kind of entity. Time stopped, and the sky darkened as if the sun had been covered in an eclipse-like manner. I looked around, but it was just so out of the blue. I stared hard at the woman, trying to understand. A face appeared from the back of her head. A twisted expression filled with rage leveled its eyes on me. Those eyes, they made my blood run cold. I swerved hard to avoid the car directly in front of me. Loud cursing trailed the other vehicle. I pulled over, hyperventilating and struggling to get my bearings. The sky was normal again. Sun shining, breeze caressing the tall grass. I hesitantly looked back at the field. Empty. There was nothing there. I tried to stabilize myself. What the hell? What just happened? I looked back one more time before continuing my drive to work, just to make sure that nothing was there. I probably just daydreamed it. I had been exhausted. Damn, I need a vacation. Maybe an exorcism. I shook my head and laughed a little out loud to ease my tension. A sinking feeling plagued me all day. I just couldn't stop thinking about what happened no matter how much I tried. I was weary of going home, but there I was, driving through familiar streets towards my house. I was coming up to the field when a cat shot in front of my car. I stomped on the brakes and sat in shock. All of a sudden, cats began to appear before my vehicle. They surrounded me and moving like little statues. A flash blinded me and I was no longer in the comfort of my own car. I was in the field with the little unnatural creatures still circling me. There was a mist around us. I could not see past the field to the road or the houses thereafter. Just the field lay before me. The darkness ahead began to come together. Something was slowly forming. Kind of like when you adjust the brightness on a halogen lamp. The cat lady materialized from the darkness, her back to me. The air around her was distorted like a smoky aura and gave her a slight hue. I squinted hard to make sure my eyes weren't playing with me. I stared so hard that I began to realize there was something beyond her. I saw through her, and what I saw was unfathomable, worse than any nightmare. I saw hell. It was endless. A vast place with razor-like sharp rocks and tall mountains with rivers of blood. Planets and moons lingered on its horizon, surely different flavors of torture. The air was humid, thick and heavy. You could see it. The smell of rot was so intense. It carried feelings of pain and rage, even regret. I felt it on my skin almost like a sea breeze. However, this was like the nightmare version. Something at my feet caught my eye. I looked down to see a cat had just sauntered past me. It made its way towards the cat lady, but something was wrong with it. It took small, frigid steps and walked up to the old woman who looked like a transparent spirit. Maybe she was a portal or a gatekeeper of some sort. The cat walked past her, and as soon as it crossed over to the other realm, it began to change, almost like it was taking in dirt from the ground and built itself up until a man stood before us. To my shock, the cat was now a full human, and once completely solidified, He crouched and contracted in pain. He began to become deconstructed and seemed to be slowly sucked away into his own personal hell. Tears stung as they welled up in my unblinking eyes and erupted into my cheeks, causing me to snap out of my trance. I screamed in terror. It was a blood-curdling scream that caused the cat lady to solidify, and its true form peered through the back of its host. It let out a shrill shriek, and it launched itself at me. I wanted to run, but I couldn't move. My feet felt like they were stuck in cement. The entity's liquid form passed through me, and it felt as though thousands of nails had pierced my skin and were driven through me. It felt as though they were laced with acid and grease. The wind was knocked out of me, and I dropped to my knees. I struggled to catch my breath and coughed uncontrollably. As I sat there choking on air, I began to notice the cats making their way towards me. Oh, hell no. I continued to cough and gasp as I sprang to my feet and ran my ass home as fast as my feet could carry me. I called the cops as soon as I made it to the door and told them I had been assaulted. They began an investigation by sweeping the field for evidence of my attacker, and they located my vehicle, which is also going to be thoroughly checked. So far, nothing had turned up, but I knew what happened, and I knew it wasn't over. I know it's coming for me. I wasn't meant to see any of it. Ever since that day, I have an oily feeling all over, and the smell of sulfur lingers on my skin. No matter how much I bathe or anything I do, I can't get rid of the feeling or the smell. It's inside me. It's like it marked me. And the cats, I hear them everywhere, all the time, all day. They're meowing and they're scratching. I know I don't have much time. Mom, Dad, I love you. I'm sorry. I watched my parents as they heard my recording. I was right. It came from me shortly after I made my recording. I'm glad I was able to leave this to my parents at least. I was wrong about something, though. The outcomes. It could be so much worse. I heard the call. It beckoned me to return. I licked my whiskers and jumped off the window ledge, making my way back to the field. I will never know what exactly the cat lady is, if she's a host, or she uses her humanity as a disguise. But she is like a herder of death, a type of grim reaper, leading souls to their final destination. I saw something that day that could not be unseen, and that moment I was marked. The entity trapped my soul. Now I'm in purgatory. My humanity is gone, stuck in silence forever. No more hopes, no more dreams, except for one day to be released from this hell. Hello, fellow creepy story lovers. This is your narrator, Deadeyes, and I wanted to take a minute to let y'all know that this is my first original story. It's a little rough because I wrote it in a couple of days, but I'm very proud of it. Feel free to comment and tell me what you think, and please do me a solid, like and share, and if you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. Until next time, and remember, there's nothing under your bed.
Or is there?